Is the teams that play for them. In the 70s, the City of Steel was hotly spotlighted on the Pittsburgh Steelers and one of the most prominent and superior defenses in NFL history. The vision of that distinguished past has resurfaced as this 10-3 Steeler team claims a defense virtually unmatched in the NFL. This defense has brought nothing but smiles to the city as the success of those glory years just might return sometime very soon. In Philadelphia, the final bell is about to ring. Last week's loss to the Dallas Cowboys has emphasized to this team a sense of urgency, a sense of necessity, where these Eagles try to put 4 consecutive losses behind them and get back on the winning track in their final surge for the NFC playoffs. Today, the focus is on Pennsylvania, the Steelers, and the Eagles. Next. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they're now fighting for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Fox Television Sports welcomes you to cold and frigid Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as today the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have the best record in the AFC. They've clinched the playoffs. Now they're fighting off Cleveland, who won yesterday in Dallas. And as for Philadelphia, they've got to win the rest of their remaining 3 games to make the playoffs on a guaranteed basis. With Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan, these two teams seem like they're going in opposite directions.
Not today, though, Kevin. These teams will be heading in the same direction. Both teams are committed to smash-mouth offense, run the football. Both defenses will be blitzing, getting after each other's quarterbacks.
And, of course, the running game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, #1 in the NFL. Here's Philadelphia. They begin 7-2. Now they're 7-6, losing 4 consecutive games. How do you analyze their problems?
What's happened to them, they have not been running the football enough. They've lost the time of possession. They have to do a better job with that today. And their quarterback has hurt them down the stretch with bad timing, bad interceptions. Today, he's got to make the right decisions.
Randall Cunningham starts for the Philadelphia Eagles. Richie Kotite says this is a must game for his Eagles. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local station. Welcome back to Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where Bill Cowher, who played for the Eagles and now coaches for the Steelers, takes on Richie Kotite, who played for the Steelers and now coaches for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Some background with these two people. 2 good coaches really going their a way that they both told us they're committed to running the football today. That's what you have to do to win today.
Gary Anderson will be kicking off for the Pittsburgh Steelers in a day that is raw and cold. It is snowing right now. The wind will be gusting to upwards of 20 miles an hour, and it is below freezing. Gary Anderson does not have the necessary length on his kickoffs, but nonetheless, he remains one of the most accurate kickers in the NFL. And Herschel Walker has bolstered a return group that was struggling earlier in the season. Back there with Jeff Seidner. Walker, one of the great all-purpose running backs, return men in the history of the NFL. He ranks 9th right now in combined yards receiving and rushing. The wind will be at the back of Pittsburgh in the first quarter. And as you can see, it is cold and it is windy, and that will be probably, Jerry, a little bit screwing around with the passing game, which these two teams don't seem to want to get into it at all.
In talking to both coaches' staffs this week, nobody mentioned the passing game much. They're both wanting to run the football. One thing that the Eagles have done, they've gotten away from enough rushing attempts to take the clock. They have to come back and do that in order to beat the Steelers.
Bob McElwee is our referee, and the scoreboard clock has gone out here at Three Rivers Stadium, so they will keep the time on the field, and we will give you the time as often as possible. And as you're quite familiar with the Fox score up in the left-hand corner, that will not be operable until we get the clock here in the stadium working. So Herschel Walker awaits Gary Anderson. Steelers come in 5 consecutive wins. And speaking of wind, it has just blown the ball off the tee for the 2nd time. And for Philadelphia, they have lost 4 consecutive games, and their record is 7-6. They don't necessarily have to win today, but Richie Kotite nonetheless labeled this a must-win situation. Herschel Walker at the 7-yard line. Seidner a block, and Herschel Walker. The kicker will knock him out. He did not. He got by him, and Walker takes it to the 36-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tackle made by Darren Perry. A 57-yard kickoff return by Walker.
They call him the Bionic Man, and this is why. He just keeps getting better every year. You think after all these years, good blocking, they got a hat on everybody with an extra man. He gets by the kicker, and they're very fortunate to get him down.
A season-long return. Double tight ends for Philadelphia. Walker in the backfield, first down and 10. And this is Herschel Walker. Working his way to the 29, picking up 6 yards. Earlier in the week, there was some mystery as to whether Randall Cunningham would start, but indeed he is today. The only NFL quarterback to take every snap this season. Behind an offensive line, which has struggled, giving up the second most sacks. Williams, Davis, Alexander, who has the longest start streak. Holmes and Thompson blocking for the combination of running backs. Walker and Joseph. Barnett is near 1,000 yards. Williams is running mate. And Maurice Johnson takes the place of the injured Mark Bavaro today. It is second down and 4. Play action by Cunningham. Incomplete as he was looking for tight end Maurice Johnson. Cunningham looking into the teeth of that Pittsburgh defense. Number 2, they have allowed the fewest points of any team except Cleveland with the most quarterback sacks. On the defensive line, Seals, Steed, and Buckner. The linebackers, so the superb Greg Lloyd, along with the improving Chad Brown, Levon Kirkland, and Kevin Green has the most sacks of anyone in the NFL against the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. And Rod Woodson could be Pittsburgh's most dangerous scoring threat with Figures, Perry, and a secondary that will stop, hopefully, Cunningham on third down and 4. Wide receiver Fred Barnett close to a first down. He needed to get to the 25. Tackled by Greg Lloyd. And it is a first down for Philadelphia.
It's a look-in pattern to his left. He's sitting down right in the zone, right by the pro hash. You can see, and he just makes it by a yard, but a good throw, accurate throw.
So the long kickoff return by Herschel Walker, and the first down is put in Philadelphia at the 25. Little high, and again looking for the tight end Maurice Johnson, who caught a touchdown pass last week, as Cunningham picks himself off the floor of Three River Stadium. Coverage on the play by the secondary with Kevin Green coming up the middle.
And Cunningham has been inconsistent. As you can see on that throw, that was a high to the outside, a fastball. They need a little more consistency out of him, but they have to remember they have to run the ball today to win the day. They have to have more rushing attempts than Pittsburgh in order to win the game today.
And throwing into a win. Second down and 10. Herschel Walker to the 22-yard line. Darren Perry got him around the ankles and brought down Walker.
Darren Perry on that play came down early, Kevin. What they did is they brought the safety up, and he was sitting on the weak side, so that formation told Pittsburgh where they were going, and he was up there, and he was the extra man able to make the tackle.
Well, the clock, as you see in the upper left-hand corner, is working. The clocks here inside the stadium are not. It is third down and 8 for Walker and Cunningham and Philadelphia's offense. He's got a receiver for a first down. It's caught by Calvin Williams.
And Pittsburgh,
13 on the play.
Excuse me, Kevin. Pittsburgh lives by the blitz. And Pittsburgh is going to blitz and blitz and blitz. And here they come today. They're going to bring these linebackers. They're going to run a loop. They're going to bring him all the way to the other side to try to get the pressure. Here he comes. That's called a Mickey Strong. And he's chasing him, putting the pressure on the quarterback. Good throw, good catch.
So no one can really match up against him.
No, they're going to try to outnumber. They're going to have more people coming than what they can block.
It's first down and goal with Walker and Joseph in the backfield. Herschel Walker. And he moves a pile to the Pittsburgh 3. Finally brought down again for a second time by Darren Perry.
That's Herschel spinning and turning. Here's a guy that doesn't lift weights, but he does 1,500 push-ups every day and 2,000 sit-ups, Kevin. This is what he feels, keeps his body toned, enables him to run over people and be a good football player.
The Philadelphia Eagles haven't scored in the first quarter a touchdown in 7 games. Second down and goal from the 3. Cunningham looking for Fred Barnett. Incomplete. The coverage by Dion Figures, number 21.
That was supposed to be a fade to the outside, and it just didn't look good. Ugly throw. Again, we're talking about inconsistent. He threw some good passes, but he's had about 3 real bad ones already. But you got to run the football inside the 5-yard line.
Cunningham against the Dallas Cowboys last week threw his first touchdown pass in 15 quarters. That time he was going to the end zone, and now with the incompletion, facing third down and 3. Incomplete. He was looking for Fred Barnett, who went in, and Cunningham threw outside, and here comes the field goal unit for Richie Kotite and the Eagles.
I don't know if that ball was tipped or deflected. It looked like the way it ricocheted out of there, like it may have hit one of the Steelers. 95, Greg Lloyd gets his, looks like he got his left hand on it and just made it bounce to the outside.
Holding will be Brian Barker, and Eddie Murray will try a 21-yard field goal, and the Eagles are on the board. We're at 11:14 remaining in the first quarter of play. Philadelphia is struck very quickly as they lead Pittsburgh 3-0. 58-yard kickoff return set up a 21-yard field goal by Eddie Murray. 3-0 is the score. Eagles on top. Jeff Wilkins will be kicking off. About a 4-minute drive by Philadelphia. Cunningham went to the air twice into the end zone and missed both times. And from the 12-yard line, Charles Johnson for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Johnson with some weaving out to the 28-yard line. All right, for the Pittsburgh offense, the key in the words of their coach, Bill Cowher, the quarterback needs to play mistake-free football. Quarterback Neil O'Donnell coming off perhaps his best game of the season after missing 2 with injury. Left side of that offensive line, Jackson Levin Dawson. That started every game this season. Strelzik makes his third start with Leon Searcy, a big right tackle. #1 rushing team in the NFL. Morrison Williams, Thigpen and Mills, the receiver, and Eric Green may be as good a tight end as you'll find in the NFL. Pittsburgh's first snap today, 1st and 10 from the 28. O'Donnell. That's Van Morris, the rookie. And he picks up 7 yards near the 35. Britt Hager makes the stop for the Philadelphia defense. #4 in the NFL. Defensive coordinator Bud Carson issued a 45-page game plan for today. Grossman replaces Townsend on the line with Perry Harmon and William Fuller. Had a sack last week against the Dallas Cowboys. In the linebacking core, Thomas Hager and Bill Romanowski. And in the secondary, which has been beaten this year, McMillan, Zordich, the leading tackler, Greg Jackson, and Eric Allen, who is 1 interception away from having the all-time record by himself. On 2nd down and 3. And Morris is battened out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Whacked by Britt Hager and helped out by Andy Harmon on the line.
This defense, just like Pittsburgh's, will be aggressive, will come after you and tag. There's Bud Carson, and he gives them a call. And then, of course, Brett Hager has to make the automatic by the set. So they really don't know who's dogging. They really do not know who's blitzing, other than the linebacker will have to call it at the line of scrimmage. There's Brett Hager coming out on the nickel situation. There's Perry. I believe Perry picked up another refrigerator along the way. I think he's bigger than I've ever seen him.
3rd down and 7. Eric Green, a tight end, is split wide from the gun. O'Donnell. Broken up, incomplete on the play, intended for Yancey Thigpen. Great play by cornerback Eric Allen. And Pittsburgh is 3 and out on their first possession.
They ran the middle linebacker on the dog, so they had a 5-man go on him, but really there wasn't much pressure on him. You'll see Romanowski coming in there, but they're picked up good. Not much pressure. Tried to throw the slant to Yancey Thigpen.
And the punt by Mark Royals, and deep back Jeff Seidler gets it at the 22-yard line and works his way up the sideline near the 29. So the second possession coming up for Philadelphia. They've lost 4 in a row against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have won 5 straight. 3-0 Philadelphia. Philadelphia on top of Pittsburgh.
This is Dion Figures. He's on the field right now, but this is when their offense was in there and their chiropractor working on the 5th and 6th vertebrae. That takes the numbness out of your fingers. He's going to work the 5th and 6th disc.